Hi, I'm David. So today we're going to do a short, stretchy, gentle yoga class. If you will, go ahead and sit up tall. I always think it's good to start with some breathing, so we'll begin with that. And for the next few moments, let your hands rest in your lap in some supportive way. Then close your eyes and redirect your focus to your breath. For the next few moments, just pay close attention to your inhale and exhale. And then lift your right hand up to your face. Place the tip of your index and middle finger right between your eyebrows. Breathe in deeply. Exhale all of your air. Use your thumb to block the right nostril. Breathe in through the left and breathe out through the left. And then again, breathe in through the left, out through the same nostril. And on your own, carry on for the next few moments. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out through the left side. If your arm starts to get a bit tired, you can always drop your elbow down a little bit and let it rest more on the front of your chest. Complete your left nostril exhale. Then drop your hand to your lap. Breathe normally. And focus all of your awareness on your breath. Then for the moment, join your hands together in a prayer at your chest. Bring to mind someone you would like to dedicate today's practice to. And send that person some good energy mentally. All right, when you're ready, then open your eyes. We're going to start with a posture called Tadasana. It's good for your hips and your spine. Bend your legs just enough to place your feet on the floor. Your heels should be around 3 feet or so ahead of your hips. And then let your knees drop all the way out to your sides. So in this one, your heels are not close to your inner thighs like they are in the bound angle. Instead, they're substantially far forward. Now, once you settle into that, if you have any back issues, lower back pain, or herniated discs or anything like that, you're going to want to stay relatively upright. So reach out there and grab your feet and make your spine relatively long, and then slowly lean over your legs, which will stretch your hips. Now, if your back feels pretty good, you can always slide your hands underneath your ankles and take the hand of both arms to your feet. And then from there, you just lengthen your spine a little bit more. Again, that's a great stopping point. Or if you want to go deeper, you can fold forward from there. Just find a natural point of resistance and breathe slowly and deeply. And every time you inhale, feel your breath, wiping away points of tension in your back. Every time you exhale, just relax, and if your body allows you to sink deeper, then allow it to occur. And if you're getting enough stretch, just hold there as you are. Otherwise, if you want to go deeper, you can, of course, always take your forehead down to rest upon your heels. Otherwise, just sort of stay taller like me. And know that so long as you're leaning forward and you're getting some stretch in your hips and your back, you're good to go for today. Use another inhale to sit all the way up and unfurling your arms along the way. And then draw your right foot to your left inner thigh. I'm going to draw my left leg in so it looks like you're doing the same thing. Grab a hold of the other leg, fold it back near your side with the top of your foot resting upon the floor. And then for now, rotate your torso to the right hand side over there. Lean forward over your leg and keep your arms straight if you want a lesser degree of stretch. Otherwise, take your elbows all the way down to the floor. This one is going to target your hip more directly. So just get really, really heavy in your torso and let your torso settle down. It's not the biggest deal if your shoulders shrug a little bit in this one, but it's always good to maintain a lengthy neck. So slide your shoulders away from your ears and just keep stretching out to the top of your head. Let's use the weight of your torso to compress your leg beneath and give you a great stretch in your hip. And walk your hands back a little bit to come more to the upright. We'll do the same one on the other side. So draw your left foot toward the right inner thigh. Sling your other leg all the way back and place the top of your foot on the floor there. And just sort of resituate to make sure you're comfortable in that position. Now rotate your torso softly toward your left leg. I know that I start to feel some stretch just leaning forward like this, so if you get that too and it's enough for you, stay there. Otherwise, take your elbows all the way down to the earth again. Try to roll your right chest around and down so your back is relatively level to the ceiling, though in this position that leveling definitely won't be perfect. Pretend that someone clicked the gravity switch in the room. Imagine your body were becoming heavier and that weight pulls you deeper down into the floor. Just get as heavy as possible everywhere and you'll get a deeper stretch in the hip. Whenever your mind drifts, try to notice that it's gone elsewhere and just redirect to the pure sensation of stretching. If your shoulders start to bunch up around your ears like an old sock bunching up around your ankle, just slide your shoulders toward your belt a little bit more until your neck feels very long again. And the next time you inhale, sit all the way back up. Now, sometimes it's beneficial to loop back to where you bent. So extend your legs forward another time. Maybe shake out your legs a little bit just to loosen up your knees if they got a little tight on you. And bend your legs again. Plant your feet flat on the floor and let your knees drop out to the sides. This time round, draw your right foot towards your left inner thigh, which is going to give you just a slightly different emphasis on the stretch. Make sure you curl your toes back over there and then walk your hands forward to the front. You can keep your arms really, really straight as you forward lean, or if you like, you can grab a hold of the foot. If it feels totally okay with your lower back and all the other parts of your spine, very slowly curl your chin to your chest and let your forehead drop closer to your heel beneath. Just try to get relaxed and heavy everywhere. Use your next inhale to come all the way back up. And then just place one heel next to the other one to measure your stance. Draw your other leg back toward your innermost thigh. Now, try to curl your toes back and sort of press out through your heel to really engage your ankle joint there. With hands walked forward, forward lean, and check out the degree of stretch that you get there. Now, if you can effortlessly grab a hold of your foot and gradually sink down, you can definitely take your forehead closer to your heel. Just don't force that. If it's a natural consequence of the posture to take your forehead down to the foot, let it be so. Otherwise, just hang out at the spot where you feel the most resistance. And deep breaths again. Couple more breaths while there. And then walk your hands back and use an inhale to come back upright. Slide your heel forward again so both legs are bent. Kind of looks like you have a diamond-like shape between your legs once they're appropriately placed. Again, heels 2.5, 3 feet ahead of your hips. Now, once more, either grab a hold of the feet or slide your hands under the ankles. For the next few moments, lengthen your spine and see if your body will allow you to drop just a slight bit deeper into it than it did previously. Slow, deep breathing. All right, now the next time you inhale, sit all the way back up. Now to counterbalance that stretch, again, drag your right foot toward your left inner thigh. Fold your left leg back near your side and place the top of your foot on the floor. It's that same hip opening position we practiced previously. This time though, we're gonna make it a twist. So take your left hand to your left hip, roll it around and down. Once your sitting bone is completely lifted off the floor on the left side, your lower back will be protected. Now take your left hand to your right knee, place your right fingertips out, and then this time around, just tuck your ribs down a bit in the front and rotate your spinal column around. Gaze straight backward over your shoulder as you twist things out. Fill your lungs with your inhales. Empty your lungs with your exhales. And as you breathe out, just allow for a slightly deeper twist. That'll probably work a few times, and then at some point, you're going to feel a space where you feel blocked. Rather than attempting to twist deeper, just sort of relax and hang out. If you're able to, gaze all the way back over your shoulder there behind. It's also good to rotate your neck. Then release the twist on that side. The same setup on the other. Draw your left foot toward your right inner thigh and fold that leg back near your side. If you really lean over onto the hip, it's easier to get the leg back. Now, in this one, you don't have to anchor your sitting bone to the floor. In fact, it's better for your lower back if you do not. So take your right hand to your right hip and then rotate your hip around and off to the side. At some point, your glutes are going to lift off the floor on your right side. Take your right hand to your left knee. Place your left fingertips behind you. If you back bend too much, it actually contracts your back muscles and makes it a little more difficult to twist with depth. So instead, tuck your ribs down in the front. And then for now, rotate your torso off to the left-hand side and gaze backward. Fill your ribs with your inhales. Empty your lungs with your exhales. Relax at the end of every exhale, and if your body allows for a deeper twist, then let it twist deeper. Otherwise, nothing wrong with just maintaining your edge where you are. Still get a great stretch and an amazing range of motion there. Release that twist, and next we're going to bend the side of your spine. That's an area that's not addressed too terribly often. Now for this one, you're going to want to be laying down on your side. So go ahead and lay down on your left-hand side. I'll do my right so it looks like we're doing the same thing. And then just to make it an easier balance, start out and make sure that your ankles are in alignment with your hips and shoulders. And because that's sort of precarious, like skiing on one single water ski, broaden your stance by crossing your right leg over. And just sort of point your knee toward the ceiling. Now for the moment, if you simply press your left elbow down into the floor, you're going to get a really great side bend. Your torso is going to look like a Chiquita banana, which is just what you want. For the next few moments, slide your left shoulder down toward the floor as you press your elbow into the earth, and just use that to thoroughly bend the side. You sort of keep your right hand on the floor so you have some additional support. Now you can get a slightly different emphasis with a shoulder shrug. So let your left shoulder blade shrug up near your ear, and sort of let your body's weight sink down like a melting ice cream cone settling onto the cone. And as you drop down toward the floor there, you get a slightly different openness in the side of your ribs. And deep, slow breaths. Now, extending the left arm can be quite a lot, so if you prefer, I would stick with either this variation or the one where you press your elbow down. If you do want more stretch, though, swivel your left arm out so it's sort of positioned at a diagonal. Gradually and slowly elongate that arm there, and you get a much deeper chiquita banana stretch in the side. If it feels like you bit off more you can chew, it's totally okay to come back to one of those previous ones. In fact, you should. But if it feels good, slide your left shoulder blade away from the ear and just keep breathing through. All right, come all the way back down to the floor. And we're going to repeat the same stuff on the other side. So just flip over when you're ready. Once you prop yourself up on your elbow, make sure that all of your lines are where they need to be. Try to align your ankle with your hip joint and your shoulder joint. I sometimes feel like I'm going to tip over when I do that, so I think it's a good idea to cross your left leg over, and that just makes it feel more stable. Your left hand is not weight bearing, so you put it anywhere you want to. But initially, for the first form of it, strongly drive your right elbow into the earth. As you do that, you're going to get lots of space separating between your ribs here. You also get some stretch in your waistline beneath. Send your breaths into spaces that feel tight. Just imagine your breath washing away some of the tension. Now you get a slight difference with a shoulder shrug, so very slowly and gradually, let your right shoulder blade slide up around your ear. Let the side of your rib cage hang closer to the floor. And scan throughout those portions of your body and pay attention to what's opening there, and send your breath into those openings. And if you're feeling like you'd like to take the next degree of stretch, swivel your arm out to the side so it's sort of forming a diagonal. Work towards straightening your arm as much as possible. Sort of check in to make sure that's going to work with your body on this side. And if it did, keep your arm really, really straight. Slide your shoulder down toward the floor and just continue to breathe as you hold. So far, we've got all the major ranges of motion in your spine save one. We also have to get a back bend. So take your elbow all the way back down to the floor. And then we're going to make this into the puppy dog posture. So just go ahead and spin around and come to a four-pointed kneeling position on your mat with your shoulders directly above your wrists. Shift your hips back a little bit. Your thighs don't have to be perfectly vertical, but it's good to get as close to that as you possibly can. Walk your hands forward next. Hands are about shoulders distance wide and the arms are straight. Now go slow with this, but lift your chin. With your arms still straight and elongated, let your chest sink down toward the earth. Now, first, you might want to stay a little higher up like this. If your elbows come to the ground, though, and you want to put your forehead or your chin on the floor, give that a shot for an additional challenge. Focus on big exhales and just let your torso get heavy, heavy, heavy. If your shoulders start to hurt, you can always lift your chest away from the floor a little bit. Otherwise, just maintain that weightiness throughout. And now lift your chest a little bit, then rock your hands backward toward you until your shoulders rest directly over your wrists. I've got most of the major muscle groups in your hips too. We've got to address the hip flexors and hamstrings. So swing your right leg forward to the front of the mat. I'll do my left. And then crawl your rear leg backwards just a little bit more. And turn the toes of your right foot out to the side very slightly. Now for today, keep your left hand on the floor and take your right hand to your knee. And as you rotate your torso toward your leg, just let your hips sink down toward the ground there. It's primarily going to stretch your hip flexors, the muscles that connect your leg to your spinal column on the back leg. Now, the next one is more of a targeted focus for your hamstrings, so take both hands down to the floor and let your hips continue sinking. If it feels okay to take your left elbow to the floor, take it down. You'll get a much deeper stretch, but if it feels okay to take your right elbow to the floor, do that as well. As you come closer to the earth with your torso, you're going to start to feel more stretch in your hamstring, the muscles of the back of the right leg. And just try to relax, relax, relax. If it's really hard to relax, press back up to straight arms. And now press all the way up and out of that posture. Windmill your leg back to the four-pointed kneeling position and swing your left leg all the way forward. And curl the toes under and back so you can slide that rear leg back. Now your right hand is your support, so just let it rest on the floor. Turn the toes of your left foot out to the side a bit. Once you've got your left hand resting on your leg, twist your torso off to the side. Sink your hips down toward the floor until you feel some stretch shooting across the front of the right leg. You might feel the back of your left leg in other places too. Just make sure you let your hips sink like a fishing net filled with rocks. And placing both hands on the floor inside of your foot, and feel free to stay there. If you're going to take an elbow down, it's usually easiest to do the right elbow first. Check in, see how that's feeling for you. If it feels good to do the left, take that one down. And just let everything sink toward the earth. Remember, if you go too deep, you can back out a little bit by straightening your arms. And you can maybe sink into it slowly. And press all the way upwards and out. Windmill your leg all the way back to the four-pointed kneeling position. Or all the way over to a full seated posture. For the moment, sit up tall and let your eyes slowly close. Let's take the next few moments to sense those new energy flows, currents of energy percolating throughout your body. That overall sense of lightness throughout. And join your hands together in a prayer at your chest. And if you wish, repeat after me. May all sentient beings everywhere experience peace.